City transformation is a journey toward a vision that God already has for the good of your city. So where do you start? Exploration is the first of what we've come to understand as 6 stages in city transformation. That those 6 stages, they're almost self-explanatory. Exploration, where we discover who God has brought to our city and what some of their purposes are in our city. The second is formation, where we move from exploring who's here to really forming a group who identify with a strategic approach to our city and addressing some of the key issues that the people we've talked to during exploration think are some of the key issues that, if addressed, would really make a substantial change in our city. Formation is a transitory phase that leads to operation, and operation is really where we have an operating corps of volunteers or possibly a few paid staff who are going to be leading the effort in our city. And we're in operation, creative management tools are being used that engage more and more people in the operation of a whole city strategic approach in the city. So people are taking on various pieces of it with confidence and fulfilling a sense of their calling. The fourth stage we call breakthrough, and that is when we've set a goal, somehow or another it just is overachieved dramatically in such a dramatic way that you really sense that God's with you as you're achieving that goal. And then we talk about transformation as making so many substantial changes and having enough breakthroughs that indeed the future is changed. Then the 6th stage is replication. And replication can happen anywhere along the line in these stages. Replication is one of those things where when somebody hears about something going on that's exciting in your city, they want to come and learn about it. That's true of the exploration process as well. If you do the exploration process well, other people will want to learn how to do it because it makes such a substantial difference in understanding your community. Exploration is one of those stages that can be done at any place in your movement. If you've got a long established movement in your city with an operating core of people who are trying to achieve great work, exploration is one of those things that increases the size of the coalition that you're working with in your city. A couple of years ago, I was asked to come to Modesto, California by some business leaders there who had put together a core group of about 70 leaders to talk to them about how they could begin to make progress through those 6 stages of transformation. And I shared with them that we needed to start with the exploration process. And so we began to do that series of interviews where they went out to talk to 108 different grass tops leaders. These would be CEOs of companies, leaders in government, leaders in education, leaders in the church and in nonprofits, leaders in arts and entertainment, and leaders who work with families in that city. And they did these interviews over a period of about 3 months, and I came back to them with a report on what they learned about each person's sense of calling, about the sense of what are the top 3 issues in their city, and how would they like to go about addressing those, and then what was their level of willingness to work toward collaboration in the solution or the addressing those issues. When they got the report back, they called together those 108 folks, plus they allowed them to invite their friends in. And when they came in, they shared the results, and there were 6 areas that stood out above the rest. Those 6 areas have to do with gangs, education, jobs, alcohol and chemical abuse and rehabilitation, family disintegration, and homelessness. And when you hear those, they sound fairly large, and they are. But people had spoken these as the keys that they felt would really begin to improve life dramatically in Modesto. So what they decided to do from there was they assigned about 10 to 15 people each in each of 6 cohorts that would begin to look into each of these 6 areas and then come back with this kind of a second level of the exploration process about what currently is being done in our city. What are some of the best practices? Do we have those in our city, or can we bring some new ideas in from elsewhere that we know are working to address these issues? So the exploration process, we believe, is a great place to start because it builds a sense that we're working together to understand the issues of our city and then to find the best solutions. Out of that, we'll develop an esprit de corps, and through some intentionality, you can develop a leadership team that becomes the core for operating going into the future to engage people from a myriad of backgrounds and callings who will really be able to make a substantial positive difference for the good in your city.